What's up, YouTube? It's 2K, okay? I'm coming back to the internet. I recently was inspired by myself, kind of, to attempt to make a quick video on capsule wardrobes or minimalist wardrobes or clothes. We're going to talk about clothes. I'm gonna try really hard to keep this brief. I live in a van. I've been living in a van for a while, little over a year, I think. I've been on the road traveling. I've been either in a van, in a car, in a bus, or on foot, hitchhiking and walking. Buses, things like that. And then before that, I was living off grid in Southern California. We're here in Southern Texas right now. I prefer heat, I prefer dry. So I've been staying in the southwest of the United States, more or less. That's a little bit of background information to kind of lead us into the different concepts that I want to talk about in this video. So yes, this is about clothes, but it's also about a particular mindset. As I've been traveling and living off grid, I've come across a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different reasons for why they live the way they live. Either they're also off grid, or they're also traveling, or they're homeless, or a little bit of both. Some people call it home free. I like to call it home free. I've noticed that the words that they use and that I use to describe the living situation has a lot, and the clothing and how you spend your time. Shh. 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 No, we're making a video. Be quiet. That's going to happen. All right, stay focused. There's a lot of attitude and perception that goes into it, and I noticed that there's a correlation between lay down, between the amount of time and effort that's put into the clothing that we wear and what we eat, the types of decisions that people make. It's based on their attitude and their perception of their situation. So there's a lot of homeless folks out there who are genuinely happy. There's a lot of homeless folks who are genuinely depressed or worse. I don't want to get too far into either of those things. What I do want to get into is the mentality thing. My mentality it goes all over the place, as well as I do. And I've noticed that when I feel good, I dress like I feel good, and vice versa. When I dress like I do when I feel good, then I generally end up feeling good for that day. And if I just like today is an excellent example, and it's great that I'm doing this video today, because I woke up feeling not my greatest. Definitely not horrible, but also not my greatest. And I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I'm gonna put on that outfit that I'm pretty sure is gonna be my favorite outfit, my core, like what I'm going to put in my bugout bag, which is where a lot of these concepts and ideas came from. I live the way that I live in a van with 2 dogs, and I've been traveling instead of having a one single stable, quote unquote stable, um, household, grounded to the earth, whatever. I live more mobile because I feel like it's a more harmonious way to live in my environment and to experience my environment to the fullest. Um, and my wardrobe is very central to that. So, a handful of years ago, before I went out to the desert, I came across the concepts of prepping and minimalism, essentialism. Um, I was looking at a lot of uh, um, Taoist ideas, we'll say, and a lot of it emphasizes simplicity and minimalism. Of course, just like the word implies, the minimum necessary. What is at the very core of what a person needs to survive, um, whatever situation. Preparedness is where the situation comes in, and preppers. I noticed that a lot. There's that show, Doomsday Preppers, where there's a big apocalypse coming, and so we need to prepare for it. Be prepared, not scared, or whatever. Um, Lots of different cliches. We're keeping it short, okay? Uh, so simplicity. There's a thing called a capsule wardrobe or a minimalist wardrobe. A lot of videos that I've come across, even though they say minimalist, there's several redundancies, several things that aren't really necessary, I don't think. And yes, there's a lot of individual needs to be considered. In any case, okay, so what I'm wearing right now is the outfit that I was super excited to wear, and I did feel great all day today, regardless of what happened. Um, oh man, I'm gonna have to make this into a bunch of videos. If you like this video, at the end of my ramblings, please leave comments, questions, suggestions, requests, whatever, in the comments or direct message, and I will do my best to kind of go more in depth on some of these things and some of my experiences. Okay, so preparing for anything that could possibly come your way on a regular basis comes with knowing the difference between a necessity and something, a tool that you haven't yet learned isn't necessary. Think of it as training wheels. So there are pieces of clothing that I thought were not necessary, tried it out, and discovered that they were necessary. Or vice versa. Things that I thought were necessary that weren't. A lot of this has come through a lot of research and a lot of trial and error. Survivalist mentality and survivalist skills come with the prepper mentality, preparedness skills. These are very closely related to minimalism and essentialism, the latter two being more broad, I guess. In any case, okay, so the concept of the gray man is probably the best concept that we can work with in terms of clothing. So, and actually my clothing tends to reflect that, believe it or not. I'm kind of dressed up right now, but I'm about to show you actual clothes besides what I'm wearing, and talk about these concepts and how we can apply it to be quiet, to situations in which you don't have any money at all. None. No assets, nothing to trade for it. Or maybe you've got like a few cents in your pocket, or this is something that can be built on as long as you keep the concepts and mentality in mind. So the gray man mentality: lay down, ignore the dog. She's not here. She's just young and desperate for attention. So the gray man mentality is that you want to be able to blend into any situation and feel comfortable and feel confident enough to accomplish whatever it is you're setting out to accomplish. If anything, you want to create a neutral, go lay down, a neutral situation in which you kind of have the space to read the room, read the surroundings, what's going on, be in the present moment without affecting what's happening too much. This comes kind of from the survival. It's a Taoist thing. It's a Taoist idea. Doing, not doing. So the best way to do and not do in a social situation is to be the gray man, be the neutral point, and let your personality, your conversations, your actions, whatever you say and do, kind of set the tone for how people develop who you are in their mind, and how you slowly and gently develop your role in that particular social situation. And this is exceptionally helpful because I'm not very good with social situations, and I used to get really fast in my mind and like argue like this, not important. Gray manning has allowed me in social situations when I would normally get stressed out, minimalizing and simplifying my wardrobe. I found makes me feel and think in a more neutral way so that I can navigate social situations in a way that is less stressful for me. So, with no further ado, the best possible example I can think of is jeans and a t-shirt. That is one of the most common things that you will see anyone of any age in any place wearing out and about in almost every situation. Slight variations. So if it's not a t-shirt, it might be a sleeveless shirt or a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie or a simple button-up shirt and pants. The jeans, they might be khakis, or they might be shorts or sweatpants or leggings or something. There's usually a bottom covering, a top covering, and shoes, something on your feet. Whether they're tennis shoes or sandals or boots or Uggs or Crocs, it doesn't matter. There's something on your feet. And then everything else is accessories. Everything else is accessories and layers for the weather. The core concept here, it's like minimalism would actually be no clothes, right? And with social situations aside, most places and most times it is actually a good idea to at least wear pants, which when I was living in the desert, that was my favorite thing. So those kind of stand up. These are just green, mostly cotton pants that I'm wearing. Olive green, I like to stick with earth tones. Can't really show the fit. I'm not getting out to show. But they're just cotton pants. They're a little snug. I think they're comfortable the way they are. I like the idea of no matter what I'm wearing, no matter where I am, I should be able to move with the flexibility and versatility of being either naked or doing yoga. So like as comfortable as you are doing yoga or being naked, like right before or after you get out of the shower, that's how comfortable I want my clothing to be also, because I want to be able and need to be able to move. I've been interrupted a few times already by this. Yep, it's on the camera. One of 2 dogs, and my lifestyle also caters to them and their needs. One of their core primary needs is to get out and to walk and to run and to explore the woods and explore this trash can over here. And there's a human being. I want to be able to I want and need to be able to keep up with that, not just on a mental level, but also on a physical level. So this is wool, and the back is, I think the back is actually polyester. I've been avoiding polyester. I'm sticking with natural fibers to the best of my ability for the minimalist budget. So if you are homeless, do your best to stick with 100% cotton, 100% wool, or a blend of the two. Avoid polyester, everyone, if you can. Polyester is, I don't understand why it's actually a fabric, to be honest. It does not seem to me to have any actual benefit in my experience. It's not, it doesn't feel good on the skin. It tends to make my skin upset, whether it be dryness, rash. It kind of has like this unpleasant sticky feeling, or the sheen on the back of a vest like this. It's nice this way, but if I go this way, I've got a little bit of dry skin on my hands, so it catches like that. It's an unpleasant texture, and in terms of weather conditions, it's avoid polyester for extreme budget and keeping things simple, keeping things long lasting. Cotton or wool. If you're homeless, you need as few items as you possibly can. It's a survival situation. Homelessness is a survival situation. The 5 C's, there's lots of videos about the 5 C's. We can look it up. We can talk about it together. Trying to keep this short. Shh. One of the 5 C's is cover. That's why clothing is important to begin with. There's also blankets, tarps. The van is cover, shelter. But when it comes to a bug out situation, survival situation, or homelessness, which is also a survival situation, your main, at the core, absolute minimum thing to cover your cover, what is protecting you from the elements, that's the concept. Can you move, please? Is your clothing, what you have on your back. That when someone says they'll give you the shirt off their back, they will literally give you their house. That's what that means. It's the only thing they have protecting them from the elements, and that's why that gesture matters so much. I've mentioned the t-shirt and the gray man concept. I think I've mentioned all the concepts that I really wanted to get at. So here are the examples, the clothing examples. Stop it, be quiet, go lay down. I'm not done. I got a little off track, we're fine. Go lay down. Gray. So, one of my absolute favorite clothing choices that I've made, especially because I live in the desert Southwest and have for a handful of years now. It does get cold. It is January now. Goodness, I didn't realize. It does get cold, especially at night, because it's still the desert. Whether you're in South Texas, Southern California, New Mexico, Arizona, it doesn't matter. It's still more or less technically a desert of some sort. So one of the absolute best things besides a t-shirt and pants, my pants I wouldn't consider jeans, but they're cotton. Jeans are cotton. Jeans are heavy. These are lightweight. Anyway, digressing. Besides a cotton t-shirt and cotton pants. I have a merino wool, 100% merino wool sweater that I found at the thrift store. This one was $8 maybe. And it's gray. It's charcoal gray. Jeans, the absolute, if I were to wear jeans, I'm going kind of bold by wearing green. But since I was in short pants, since I was very small, I've been wearing jeans. There was even a period around, there was a time around high school where I was wearing jeans so exclusively that I would not wear anything else, even in the blazing summer, and even when I slept. I would sleep in them. Even if I was wearing nothing else, I'd be wearing jeans. Stop. Be quiet. She doesn't need anything. Shh. There's just stuff going on outside. Cotton t-shirt is the same thing. If I was wearing a top, it was a cotton t-shirt. It didn't matter what it said, didn't matter how big it was. It was most likely a cotton t-shirt or something I could wear anywhere for any occasion. I could count on it to stay put together. It wasn't going to fall apart on me. It was going to cover me. Plain and simple. It used to also be a hoodie. That was the next most important part of my wardrobe. Shoes, I'll get to shoes. They're kind of a separate topic. But my go-to, if you could have only one pair of shoes, boots. I'll come back to it. Gray man, the sweater. This merino wool sweater, I just got at the thrift store for about $8 or so, I think, is what I spent on this. The sweater that I had before this, that got it all started, is still here, right next to me. Nearly identical color. I put the patch on it, which is something that I pulled away from recently, and I've got reasons for that. I might touch on it in this video, I might not. I'm not going to touch on it now, because what I really want to say is this is probably the best capsule wardrobe, minimalist wardrobe, essentialist wardrobe item that I would put in my situation. Besides, I didn't show this, but this is also my favorite t-shirt. Dark gray, 100% cotton t-shirt that fits properly my body and my body shape. This one's a medium. I used to wear large a lot, and then I tried to go to wear a small. I was like, maybe I should be wearing small. No, it has to be a medium, and it has to be cotton because of not only how it treats my skin, it holds up to nearly every environmental situation that you can come across. I choose V-neck because first of all, it looks better, it feels better. It's not like choking me, but it's also not hanging down. I can't stand a collar that doesn't sit in the right spot because of how it feels. So same thing with this collar. There it is a V-neck. And this shirt and this shirt together is nearly the same shirt. And so for my bug out bag, which is literally right behind me, and it's also my EDC bag, it comes down to simplicity and functionality and flexibility and longevity. Those things are the core concepts that I work with when I'm working with my survivalist gear, my EDC gear, and my bug out gear. And then those all end up being the same thing. And then everything else is extra for the season or the situation. That being said, so I've got one pair of pants that happen to be green instead of gray. My last go-to pants were in fact gray camo pants. They recently tore in such a way that I did not feel it was worthwhile to repair them. because they had a couple of tears. But I wore the crap out of them, and they were secondhand too. A friend of mine bought them for me at a garage sale for maybe $1. The pants that I'm wearing now, I got for maybe $5. Thrift stores and gifts, donation piles, trades with other travelers, other homeless folks. These are the things that are available. Even dumpsters, dumpster diving, different clothing places. Risky, yes, but if you know how to do that, which lots of people do, there's lots of information on it. You can find really, really good quality stuff in the dumpsters. Also, I had a go-to T-shirt that was 100% cotton that I found in the dumpster, and I wore the crap out of that too. I had no idea how long the person had it before, but it was worn in, it was soft, it was strong, and I wore it nearly every day for weeks, plural, straight, because that's how I wear my clothes. I don't bathe very often because I don't need to. We won't get into that. That can be another video. This is not going to be short, is it? Where are we at? 26 minutes. Okay, I talk a lot. All right. Anyway, gray t-shirt, gray sweater, merino wool sweater. Wool holds up to the elements significantly better than most other materials that I've been able to find besides cotton. The biggest differences between cotton and wool that I've found is cotton is better for absorbing liquid, sweat, or water if you're using it to clean something up, and for keeping you cool. Wool tends to do the opposite. It repels water, it repels moisture, and it is more meant to keep you warm rather than cool. For example, we'll go one further. These are extras. This was a gift from a friend. This sweater right here is 100% cotton, but it's larger and heavier, and therefore it will actually keep me warmer than my t-shirt, but it won't do so well with keeping sweat off of me if I end up sweating, or if it rains, it's gonna get soaking wet. It's probably gonna just pull all of that moisture up into it, whereas this is going to keep the rain off of my skin much longer. If you're wet, you're cold, period. In the southeast, that's great, that's what you want. In the southwest, especially as it approaches evening like it's doing now, don't want that. You want wool, or some type of wool cotton blend if you can. A lot of wool socks available. They're gonna be a wool cotton blend, or possibly wool and acrylic, or wool and polyester. Like I said earlier, avoid polyester, avoid acrylic. They're synthetic, they're heavy, they don't breathe. They don't function as well as the natural fibers that, in my experience. That brings me to socks. I haven't been able to find any yet myself, but merino wool socks or 100% cotton socks would be the ideal. I'm wearing black ones that are most likely some kind of cotton polyester spandex blend. I don't know. I did also get these at a thrift store, and they did not have a tag or marking on what kind of fiber they are, but how they feel. It feels like a cotton synthetic blend. So besides the sweater, so we've covered t-shirt and pants, which is usually the core. I don't normally wear underwear, but the same thing goes for that. One simple gray, or I prefer dark colors most of the time. That's usually not a good idea in warmer climates. Lighter colors, of course, are going to keep you cooler. In a majority of the seasons, we happen to be in winter time, so this is the best time in this region to talk about this, because this is when this region gets a taste of what goes on about half of the year in most of the other regions in the United States. And that is freezing cold. It's freaking cold. And it's freaking wet. We're having weird weather right now, but nonetheless, um, I remember growing up in um, northeastern Missouri in the Midwest, and a lot of the times one of the biggest reasons that I was wearing jeans instead of shorts was I'm very sensitive to the cold, and so I got cold more easily, and it just made more sense to wear jeans rather than shorts. If I was wearing shorts, I would have to change at some point in the day to pants in order to keep playing or working or whatever I was doing in the evening. I noticed that a lot of people would change their clothes frequently. And it's like, why would you do that? There's no reason to change your clothes so many times. You wear them until they're like very dirty. You smell or you have visible um, stains or marks from whatever you're doing throughout the day. You wash your clothes. You have another set of clothes to put on while your main clothes are being washed, and then you have your next set of clothes, and then you like it ought to be a relatively fluid cycle in my mind. And I noticed that was something that wasn't happening. So this is where another survivalist concept comes in. um, some people might have heard of it: two is one, one is none. This is the most clear to me, and that where one wash one minimalist idea cycle comes in is, if I'm homeless or living on the road, the absolute best thing that I can do is have one outfit that I wear all the time. That way I don't have to change my clothes. And if I do have to change my clothes, that means they need to be washed, and then I need something clean to put on right after that or before, so that I have something that I can wear while my clothes are being washed, either at a laundromat or literally washing them in the river or wherever. Anything more than that, it's going to be difficult to carry. It's going to be difficult to keep track of. It's going to cost more to wash it. You're going to need more water, which is a priceless resource, renewable to a degree, but we're not taking care of our water. We're not taking care of our planet. So, in my mind, a lot of natural resources are non renewable resources, because we keep finding ways to destroy it. Yet another topic that we can save for something else. Pause for the cause. Earth love. Okay. So then, besides shirt, pants, sweater, it's getting warm. I spent a lot of time barefoot, both when I was younger and when I was in Southern California. And I still, if I can, if it's practical, I prefer to be barefoot. However, there are plenty of cases and places where it makes far more sense to wear shoes. Quick side note: this merino wool sweater is nice and it fits nice. One of the core concepts when you start getting into social situations, especially social situations in which your clothing matters because it indicates some kind of status or class or standing, or whether someone wants to engage with you or not, what kind of person you are, blah blah blah. If you're wanting to look more nice or dressed up, all you have to do is get a nice, good fitting wool sweater, throw that on top of your t-shirt, Trade out your jeans for something khaki or gray. Dark gray would be preferred because when it comes to pants, the darker the nicer they're perceived. Why? You can't see crinkles, you can't see spills or messes or anything like that as well. You can't see tears and roughs as well. They come off nicer. Well, the sun's going down, so we're getting glare from the glasses. Anyway, this will not only warm you up and keep you dry, but it'll dress you up also. Just look around, watch. You see someone walk by in a t-shirt and dark pair of jeans. You see someone walk by in a sweater and a dark pair of jeans. In a lot of cases, your mind is automatically going to think that the person in the sweater is dressed up a little bit more than the person in the t-shirt. And similarly, if the t-shirt person walked by in a sweater and the sweater person walked by in a hoodie, that also indicates a difference in casual versus dressy. So my go-to for that outerwear used to be a hoodie. It is much more likely for hoodies to be in 100% cotton or cotton polyester blend or something like that. I have initially begrudgingly and hesitantly pulled away from hoodies temporarily, most likely, for that reason, and exchanged it instead of in addition to the merino wool sweater. I also have a heavier, mostly 100% wool sweater that was actually a sweater vest, a heavy sweater vest that was gifted to me that I added sleeves to from an old sweater, and it turned into sleeves for that sweater, sleeves for my heavy wool sweater, this hat. So now I have 100% wool. No. This is wool alpaca, and I think there is some acrylic or polyester or something in here. It feels there are synthetic fibers in this. However, like I said, with this wardrobe situation has been a work in progress, and it came from my mentality of what is simple and effective, durable, flexible, etc., etc. Mostly wool and alpaca. Alpaca would also be a natural fiber, and some synthetic fibers. This is a hat that keeps me fantastically warm in most occasions. I have a lightweight version of this that happens to be polyester. It's in a shape that is more functional, but ultimately it's a bandana. 100% cotton bandana for my homeless folks and traveling folks who are wanting to do things with as little money as possible, preferably none at all. The skank, as the train kids would call it. I have not hopped a train, so I do not qualify myself as it being proper for me to call my bandana a skank. Also, I want this to reach as many people as possible, so we're going to start with calling it a bandana. 100% cotton bandana or cloth that's roughly bandana shaped. The shamags are fantastic because they're a little bigger, they're a little more versatile. They also tend to be a little thinner and more flexible. So they tend to come with more uses. I do have a few bandanas hanging around. Those are redundancies. I have dogs, so each dog is entitled to their own bandana. I think actually we're low on a bandana right now. In any case, 100% cotton if you can. If not, actually I strongly recommend having at least 100% cotton, just like a cloth, like a t-shirt piece or a bandana or a shamag, something like that, because you want a towel, you want that snot rag or mess rag or whatever you want, something to be able to clean up. That's getting more into the, where is it? I did say something about this. This is my bug out bag right here. It's also gray. This came with me from the desert. Pretty sure this is free. It was coming apart and I've sewn it up in a couple of places. This is not cotton, and it's not wool, and it's not leather. So this is due for an upgrade soon. However, this is my bug out bag, and this is my life. Besides this van and these dogs and myself, this is my life. This entire outfit that I'm wearing, probably including my shoes, the majority of it fits inside the hat. The hat has its own spot right there inside the big compartment. You see where it's squishy? That's where this goes. That's why it's called a capsule wardrobe. And that's why it's also called minimalist and essentialist, because it is the covering that covers me when I got nothing on me except my birthday suit. Okay, keep going. We're at 41 minutes. We'll keep it under an hour if at all possible. T-shirt, pants, cotton underwear if you must. I don't really wear underwear, but cotton or merino wool. Socks, cotton or wool. Hat, wool and cotton. Hat and bandana or skank or shamag would be ideal. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Gray, dark gray sweater. Boom. Okay. Last but not least, by any means, shoes. I said boots are my go-to if I can only have one pair of shoes. For a long time, I did only have one pair of shoes, if any shoes at all. I love shoes. I especially love boots. So I recently also